Hey guys, before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Drunken Gentlemen, the drinking club with killer teas, and their newest drop, The Drunkest Place on Earth. And if you're a big Disney fan like I am, this tea is perfect for park hopping with a buzz. First timers get 20% off with the code WELCOME, but my Taproom listeners, you guys get 25% off. Just use the promo code Taproom Podcast at checkout and stay classy and never spill. And now, on to the episode. All right, and we're back. This is episode 124 of the Taproom Podcast, and I'm your host, Mike. Oh yeah, let's get into it. I'm super excited for you guys to hear this one. It's episode 124 with Barney Santos and Winston Goreen of Boulevard Market. Barney started Boulevard, a few years back, and it's been crushing ever since. But honestly, the entire place is awesome. But one of my favorite parts, obviously, is Alchemy Craft. That's within Boulevard Market. But, it just works and gels so well together. Honestly, Winston, Barney, super grateful. Thank you for letting me come down there and hear your guys' story. And I've been excited for everyone to hear this one. Just because the fact that I hadn't done a craft beer bar kind of thing. But it was like hearing their story is, man, it just it just makes me feel like, man, if you really want something, you can do it. It's just a matter of if having the wherewithal to want to do it, and to be able to not be afraid of, failing or things getting in the way or anything like that. Man, I just was super, so much respect for Barney and for Winston. And honestly, it was just a really fun conversation. I want to say we went around an hour 12, hour 13 maybe, but it was just so fun. And I've been trying to, even myself, and I know I've talked about this on the show, that talking to brewers, how it's never good enough and always wanting to evolve, and they can tweak little things and stuff like that. And that's, honestly, I've been feeling that way so much, especially the last couple of months. And I keep thinking, man, I don't want it to be stale. I don't want things to just stay the way they are. Could I have just, honestly, dude, I'm saying dude, whoever's listening, I could have gone to, any place and just rested on the same questions that I was asking. I could go on autopilot and be able to do that. Obviously, still have a great time and a great conversation, I feel like, but I need more, and I've always felt I even starting going back to the beginning. Actually, I don't want to get all into that, but I'll save that for episode 125, which I'm actually going to be, because it's the thank you episode. So I will talk about that. I'll be recording that with Luis in a couple hours. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I'm super stoked for this one though. I really am. And like I said, I can't say thank you enough to Winston and Barney. And honestly, though, they have such great stuff in there. It's off of Whittier and 6th in Montebello. I should have mentioned that earlier. I'm sorry. But we talk about it also in the episode. They have For the Win hamburgers or smash burgers. They have pizza. They have so many options. They have something for everybody there. And it's just such a cool place to hang out. And I remember the first time I went, it was for, I know we talk about this in the episode, for Pink Boots at a Pink Boots event there. And then also for Behind the Brews. With Mike, my buddy Mike Correa from Unsung. I got to see him there. So it was just, it was super cool. I remember seeing that, and seeing their tap list. I was like, damn, man, this is this is awesome. Because, and then, Winston and I talked about it a bit, if you have something like this, it may motivate you to want to go, if you try it, something like a beer from, say, Highland Park. Maybe you haven't been. And you try that beer at Alchemy Craft and you're like, dang, I got to go to that brewery and try the rest of their beers. So, stuff like that I love. But all right, I don't want to give too much away. I was trying to think, I was like, man, what else am I going to talk about on the intro? because I mean, it's literally just baseball right now. Oh, OKC did win the finals, so congrats to OKC. That sucks about Halliburton, but the NBA draft was the other day. But yeah, hockey's over, basketball's over. Literally, it's just. I mean, I love baseball. I do. I love baseball, but it's just like, I mean, I need something else. I need something else to watch too, But college football and NFL preseason just around the corner. It's gonna be a good time. Me and Art will probably have to do our LA_Brew Life. We'll have to do our picks again like we did last year. That'll be fun. All right, well, I'm gonna shut up now. So I hope you guys enjoy the interview with Barney and Winston, and you catch me on the outro.
All right, guys, we're back in the tap room, and I'm your host, Mike, and I have two very special guests on the show today. I have Barney Santos and Winston Goreen of Alchemy Craft here in Montebello. If you haven't been, it's off of Whittier Boulevard and 6th Street. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, man. Good. Thanks for having us on.
No, cool. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Mike. Nice meeting you again. Good seeing you.
Exciting.
I know. Just I was saying, it feels like you said it earlier, so it feels like I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, I think less than 72 hours. We saw you at the LA Beer Fest out on Long Beach.
Oh yeah, it was such a fun day.
Oh yeah, and it went. It's one of those beer fests where you're like, oh gosh, okay, cool. It's 11:45. It's 12, and then you look at the watch and you're like, it's 4:30 already.
Yeah, it's
like
almost done.
Where'd the time go?
Yeah, once you hit that point, you're like, oh shit, it's almost over. I gotta get going. Try to beat the crowd out. You know?
Yeah, no, exactly. It was.
Did you go by yourself?
It was a good time. Yeah, I went for it was a Father's Day gift from my wife.
Nice.
So I was like, and you don't want to go, and you're gonna drop me off? I'm like, okay, win-win, no brainer,
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're here at Alchemy Craft. I love you guys do so much here. I love like the events you guys put on.
Yeah.
Tell me how it all got started.
Yeah. So, my wife and I came up with this idea a while back ago, back in 2013, 14.
Okay.
We wanted to build a company to really give back to the community and build something. We were so tired of seeing the downtown of this city and other Latino communities sort of underinvested in. And we thought why wait for the McDonald's and the Starbucks and the big developers to come in and do 100%. Something? Why can't we do something? And that kind of sent us down a rabbit hole of data and research of like, who else is doing cool stuff? And we were really inspired by what's happening in Boyle Heights at that time. It was called this movement called gentrification, which are people from the community investing back into the community.
That's awesome.
Responsibly, and with intention. And we thought, well, what if we could do something like that? Build a company that could be like the catalyst for that. And so from gentrification came a company that we built called Gentify, right?
Okay.
And our first project was this Boulevard Market. So you're sitting now inside of what's called Boulevard Market, which was at one point a city-owned property.
Okay.
That was just empty, dude, for like 10 years, some more, I think.
Wow.
You go on Google, Google has like those Google map images and you can look back like 10, like this thing has been empty for like 10, 15 years, something like that. So it was an old carpet store, right? Loom carpet.
Oh, geez.
And in the corner, it was a bar, like an old school bar back in the day that mysteriously burned down. But from what I heard, it was a Mongols hangout.
Oh, geez.
And the bar owner was like this old, like crazy woman who was just like hardcore. And mysteriously one day burned down. So I don't know, I don't know, right? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, put two and two together.
Yeah, right. So we built it. It took us like 6 years to get this thing to raise money and to get the city to buy in. And part of that process was, you can't have a food hall in the community without a bar.
Yeah.
The bar makes all this happen because it's just people want to hang out, have a good time, have a drink, hang out with their friends, their family. And then on top of that, the economics of beer and wine and spirits is actually a lot more better than just real estate. So economically, the bar allows us to do all the things that we do here in terms of programming and events and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically in a short way, that's how we came up with this thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for the craft part of it, the craft beer part, how did getting that part of it into it? Let's say we got Angry Horse that right across the street. So.
Yeah. I mean, Angry Horse is great. We opened, I think like a year or two after they did. I think probably 2 years after they did, actually, because I think they're celebrating their 6th year and we're celebrating our 4th year this year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we knew that it was going to be an important component of it. I mean, at first it was just beer.
Yeah.
Winston, we would talk about it before, and he was like, yeah, craft beer. And I was like, yeah, Winston's a big craft guy.
Yeah.
And I became one too, right? But my wife was the one who was like, you should have something else for like people who don't like beer.
Of course.
So we were like, all right, let's do the wine. Just to, the license is pretty similar to get beer and wine versus just beer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just did that. And not, with that process came the craft beer, which, we knew right away, like we have to have craft beer. That's like, we don't want to just have like Modelo and Bud Light. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Obviously some for the businesses that do have it. We just wanted to be a little more artisanal, and I think that was the case. Even though in the beginning they were asking us, they would give us money to build stuff, build our bar, or give us our fridge if we had Modelo or Corona on tap all the time. And
that's promises.
Yeah, that's compelling. But we were just, I think Winston also was very like, let's stick our guns. None of that crap. We don't want to tarnish our vision of like the craft beer empire. And I think it was the right choice, honestly. Yeah.
Sure. I kind of want to go back a little bit. Evelyn and Barney have done an amazing job with building Boulevard Market, but I think the thing that's also great is that there's a lot of our family history here in Montebello.
Awesome.
My wife was born in East LA, and her grandmother lived in Montebello. My wife grew up in Montebello. My sister-in-laws are from Montebello. My father-in-law went to Montebello High School. So it just seemed like it was like the perfect place and the perfect opportunity, like Barney said, to provide to the community. But there's a lot of love and a lot of family, just love for Montebello. I got married in Montebello. I'm not trying to make this a Winston podcast, but
you're right.
But I'm really sharing, it's not just we just came here just because or wanted to open here because.
It made sense.
There's a lot of love and passion and a lot of respect for the Montebello community and the Southeast LA community.
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
This is home. This is the home away from home.
This is a local story, 100%. The building, the project, the businesses, like the people, it's as local as you can get.
Oh, yeah. And I love that part of it. Like, because obviously you could hear the passion in both of your guys' voice.
Yeah.
But like, because I grew up in Pico for a lot of my life.
Yeah.
So I was always in Montebello when the warehouse music was over here.
Sure.
Way back when. So.
At the mall, I would go to the mall. The mall was like the place to go to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you would go to the mall and then you'd go catch a movie at AMC.
Yeah.
And I probably hit up Taco Bell back then.
Yeah.
Still do sometimes.
Yeah. But the craft thing, like Barney said, Barney and Liv talked to me and they're like, hey, we're going to be opening up this spot, this food hub, this concept. And I don't know, Barney knew I'm the craft beer guy. I've loved researching it. I love reading about it.
On his own, too.
Obviously, love drinking it. More importantly, love connecting with people that are involved in it. And it's something it's not just something that's like, oh, it's craft beer. It's truly a passion for us.
Yeah.
And like Barney said, we really wanted to stand out in the community. We really wanted to bring independent craft beers to this community and beyond. And I think it's been awesome. I think it's been great.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's awesome is when you can, like, because sometimes, for some breweries or stuff like that, it is just kind of finding a spot anywhere you can, right? But when you can incorporate, like, the local culture into it,
sure,
that makes it, tenfold. It makes it so much better because this is your home.
What's authentic, right? Like, there's a different level. It's not just some corporate company opening a place that just, there's a million of them everywhere. Like, this is a local story, and we wanted to be authentic and design it in a way that the community could see themselves into it,
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I just can't believe, 4 years in August, right?
I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy. We're about to celebrate our 4-year anniversary. It's coming up quick before we know it.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
Thanks, man.
And what was it like? You said this before was like a carpet store or something?
Yeah. So, this building that we're in right now, you could see it's I think over 100 years old now. It's from 1905. And
we had the Simon bricks. Remember the Simon
all those bricks are made from Simon Brick, which is a company that was in the South Montebello. They were the largest brick manufacturer on the West Coast. So like UCLA, USC, a lot of old theaters, like were all made with Simon's Brick. And you've seen the Simon's Brick. Like if I showed it to you, you'd be like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. And we, the people at the time were telling us to tear this down, and we were like, no, man, we want to keep this building. We tore down another building that was next door that was not as old. It was like from the 70s. Mm-hmm. We tore that one down. We kept this one because this one, look at it. You got like I'm a sucker for these like
same,
these roofs, these exposed beams, and like it just I love it. So Yeah, man. With the history runs deep with the, it was a carpet store. I don't know if you see the sign out on the top of this says Boulevard Market, that huge marquee sign.
Yeah.
That used to say Right Loom Carpet. And then, thankfully, Carpet Market, same letters. We just swapped a couple out.
There you go.
Saved us some money. We lit it up. The condition of it is basically the same way that it was when we first came here. We just kind of changed some of the name and added new neon.
Yeah.
And it works. So it worked out in our favor.
That's great, man. I mean, it still has like obviously like the bones in it, right?
Yeah.
The building does. And it was cool when you can kind of incorporate that into the place. I mean, because the aesthetic of this place is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. And the bar, like, if you think about the bar, right? So we thought, okay, there's a sense of history in place within Boulevard in this building on its own. We were like, how do we create that sense of history and time in a place that hasn't been here for that long, right?
Yeah.
It's only been here for, it's going to be 4 years. But how do you create design a space that make it look like it's been here for a while? So, we came up with this whole idea of like this bar was designed by these modern, like, secret society of craft beer drinkers.
Okay.
This Alchemy Craft society. And, if you look at the tile on the wall, the tile work, it's like in parts and patches.
Yeah.
Over time, these guys just like, oh, I have some extra tile here. This broke. Let's put it up here and put it up there. And they grouted it. And it's just not all exactly the same. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the story, right? The concrete, a bar. I mean, that's something that you would see a long time ago. So we kind of tried to add design elements of history to the bar itself to make it feel like an old bar, something you would see like either in Europe or Mexico City or something like that, or,
Yeah. It's kind of like what it's like asymmetrical, where it's not supposed to be perfect. Like,
exactly.
It's like almost like they say like a bow tie. Like a bow tie is never going to look perfect.
Right.
Like it look unless it's a clip on.
Yeah. Well, in Japan, there's practice. I forget the name, but they have this beautiful practice where they'll take pottery that is broken and then they'll piece it together with gold grout to make it look more beautiful.
Yeah.
And so like taking something that's broken and making it look something like new and better is kind of like the idea. So that's why we use gold grout on the tile too, because it was kind of like a throwback to that idea. So, we tried to be intentional with design of the space, and it kind of worked out, I think.
That's great. And the Alchemy Craft Bar, because then we talked a little bit about the name, but was that what it was by the secret society?
Yeah.
You guys were thinking?
Well, alchemists, right? Like they
transformation.
They take chemicals and they turn metals into gold. I thought, well, golden beer, it's kind of like one and the two, right? One and the same. So Alchemy Craft, I thought it's these modern brewers are like these modern day alchemists. They're basically taking chemicals and dry goods and turning them into golden product, golden beer.
Yeah.
So Alchemy Craft is how that name came about. Yeah.
And even for the beer part, like when did you guys start to get like the craft beer like to come in here? Because I mean, it was craft beer, like the boom was, in like the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I'm sure, was that like easy to reach out to people or just to get them to?
Not in the beginning. Winston, that's been Winston's doing. I'm honestly he's been great.
Yeah, luckily Evelyn and Barney have allowed me to take the lead on it. So, I mean, even like 3 months, 4 months before we're even open, I was reaching out to people, calling people, going down to their breweries, meeting people, connecting, building relationships, letting them know, hey, Alchemy Craft's coming. Hey, we'd love to have your great tasting beer at our location. This is what we're about.
Yeah.
And so it's just been something that we planned for, and, and it's just been fortunate that, luckily we made it happen.
And everybody said yes to you, right? Right away?
No. People are like, who? Alchemy, who? So it took time, there were some breweries that put us on this, waiting list, and I respect that. And
were you surprised? I was surprised by that. Like,
yeah, I was surprised, but it was, honestly, it was something I could respect. There's a lot of great breweries that are out here in Southern California, and it's just exciting that they just don't want their beer everywhere and anywhere. Obviously, there's locations that might not follow like what the expectation is of the brewery to take care of their beer. Mm-hmm. Here we take that very seriously. Yeah. Fresh in, fresh out, ensuring our beer lines are getting cleaned. And us committing to the breweries that, hey, when we're going to bring in your product, we're going to tap it within 5 to 7 days. Yeah. If we're not able to do that, we're not going to bring it in. But anyways, I don't mean to get off the tangent, but I think just connecting and reaching out, I think going and meeting people in person and being in their location is a lot better than just sending a generic email or text message or a voice message. Yeah. So that's what we did. We did that together, and we tried to get out to as many places as possible to introduce what we were planning on doing. And it's been great. It's been awesome. The craft beer world is very supportive, and, everyone looks out for each other. And it's been amazing just the amount of people that we've met in the industry. So yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing is you got two breweries, right? I mean, you obviously, we talked about Angry Horse, but then you got Brewhead just down the street too.
Yeah, Augustine and Adrian and the whole family. I mean, they're our homies, they're our friends. They're definitely good partners of ours.
They make great beer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
But it's got to be great too, because you got the local places. Yeah, like being able to bring in that community, whether it's in Pico or maybe even in Whittier, or over here with La Bodega and Whittier and Whittier Brewing Company.
Yeah,
but it's cool because it's all like, I always felt like Whittier, Pico, and Montebello are like just like they're all first cousins. I feel like, because everybody's like so close to one another.
Absolutely,
like city wise.
Yeah, no, it's been good. We have a good mix. We rotate our tap handles weekly, bring it into the best of the best. New releases, limited collabs, from the best of the best breweries. But we also support local breweries like you talked about, Brewhead, Angry Horse, La Bodega, Norwalk Brew House with Ray.
Oh, love Ray.
Stuff like that. We don't want to forget about the small people. And when I say small, I don't mean like they're not important.
Yeah.
But just the smaller volume contract brewer or small microbrewery, we also want to bring in their stuff. If they're making great tasting beer, we want to have it here. And it's not just about the beer, it's also their story and what we can do to share their story with our community.
Yeah, I mean, that was important for us, right? Like as an evolution of the brand, it was always like, okay, how do we put the beer and the brewers and the ownership front and center, right? And then we started talking about start doing tap takeovers, right?
I love that. Yeah.
And so Winston told me about this idea, and we're like, that sounds great. But even we started doing those, and even those didn't feel like we were doing what they're intended to do, which is to honor the brewery and showcase it.
Yeah. We were missing something.
Yeah, and so we talked about it. We were brainstorming. We're like, why don't we just do a panel and have a discussion, and let's make it more about like them and people getting to know them.
Yeah, the behind the brews, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that turned into behind the brews, and it's been great. Honestly, like I think the brewers don't get asked to do that a lot, from my understanding.
Right.
They don't get asked to speak in front of people a lot of times, and so I think for them it's been great to kind of like get their message out to a newer community, to a newer customer base, and a lot of times, and it's been awesome to see Winston put that together. And I mean, how do you feel about it?
It's definitely something that's exciting. At the end of the day, it's great to have their product and their great beer, but more importantly is to hear their story, their life beer journey, the challenges that they faced and the obstacles and how they got into the craft beer world, and then information and history of the brewery and their beers and how they come up with the names and what ingredients. I mean, it's been awesome, but and that's me, is like, I don't want to say I'm a beer expert, but I love craft beer, but it's been great to also allow our community to sit and hear that story from these different breweries, and then also ask questions at time and network with them. So it's been a win-win. It's been awesome. I think it's definitely took Behind the Brews has definitely taken it to the next level.
Was there anything surprising you found, or?
No, the only thing that, I found, that's sometimes interesting is sometimes brewers are okay with being behind the scenes and not really talking to people and not really wanting to be part of a panel. So that was kind of like a little eye-opening to me, but everybody has a different role within a brewery, right? You got your front of house folks, you got your brewers, you have, your business owners that are able to market and kind of be able to connect with people. And then you have your brewers that are like just making kick-ass dope beers, and that's all they really want to do. And they don't even like to talk about it. They're so humble. It's like crazy. I'll walk into a brewery and I'll be like, hey man, congratulations on the 3 gold medals at GABF and the silver. And they're like, cool, thanks.
Man.
And I'm just like, dude, I feel like I'm more excited about it than them, But that's how passionate I am about the craft brewer. Like, damn, but it's been great. It's been great to hear their story and for their story to be shared with our community, which has been great.
Hey, it's crazy, like you saying that, because I mean, I've dealt with that too, because of like sometimes they don't want to, they're like, yeah, I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, cool, no worries, but congrats on your stuff. But I mean, like you said, a lot of times there's still that's why I love brewers, and I love like business owners too, because it's never good enough.
Yeah.
Like you still always want to strive for more and more and more and more. Like, doesn't matter. Like you could win 3 golds, like you said, and then like, but I kind of want to change this beer just a little bit.
Right.
But, it's never good enough, and it's constantly evolving, especially like life. Right.
Yeah.
So we're always wanting to do more. We talked about because obviously that's a collaborative effort. with you behind the brews.
Yeah, every month we have the behind the brews. Yes, absolutely.
I came for I came for a couple, but my favorite one was always Mike because I love Mike from Unsung.
Okay.
He's my boy.
Yeah, Mike's great.
Yeah, but when it comes to the food and stuff too, because I'm sure that was a pretty collaborative effort to try to get all the different food vendors that you guys have, whether it's inside or outside.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone about that?
Yeah, so we've had several iterations of the food. This is a food hall, so and just like any in hospitality, it's something hits, something doesn't sometimes, but I put a lot of effort on curation. Just like Winston, and we curates beers, curating the vibe. That's really our job, is to curate the vibe, right? As much as and protect it at all costs. So we're always trying to find, okay, what is the most, because we don't have a whole lot of vendors. We have 8 in total, including the bar. How do we create the most diverse and complementary curation of food where people will feel like they can get a little bit of everything in this place? And so it's always been that thought process. And who has a cool brand, and who would fit in this community? Because the truth is not every brand can fit in a food hall. And a lot of that has to do with the byproduct of the owners. Sometimes the owners are, entrepreneurs are interesting people. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 plus years. I was the director of entrepreneurship for Cal State Los Angeles and ran innovation teams at Unilever. So I've met so many different entrepreneurs. And one thing I know is that a lot of them are lone wolves, right? They're so used to doing things on their own that it's hard for them to thrive in a community setting. And so when you put them in a community setting, sometimes they're not able to. What do you mean I can't do this? I this is the way I want it, And so it's always finding the right founders and the right brands with the cool logos and the cool way that they communicate and the right type of food is tough. But that's the work. Thankfully, now we have great vendors. Everybody seems to be firing on all cylinders. Cafe Santos doing Oaxacan coffee, Vicho's amazing pupusas, white rice from San Diego. We were able to convince them to come up here.
Nice.
We have Los Taqueros doing artisanal tacos, Cold Pizza that does Neapolitan style pizza, and then we have For the Win that does smash burgers. Been one of the best smash burgers in California. And so
love that.
Yeah, and we're about to launch a new concept in our incubator. We have a business incubator in the back too, where we sort of launch new brands. And so we're working on a dessert concept right now.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, it's been fun, man. I can't even pretend that's been part of the funnest thing is trying to bring together the best types of chefs and cool concepts for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, and that's great because then you said somebody can maybe not be feeling burgers, but then they could want
100%,
and then you can have a little bit of of everything, and then you have a Santos. I'm gonna say fucking fantastic craft beer selection.
Yeah.
So you can't beat that.
You can't really. Honestly, I think the pillars of a food hall, you gotta have burgers, you gotta have pizza, you gotta have beer, and you gotta have good tacos, and then all the other stuff just adds to the extra flavor to it.
Yeah.
So I think it's been great. Yeah, and to your point, I think the great beer is just another layer of oh, okay, cool. I can have a great beer from a great award-winning brewery.
Yeah.
To wash down this amazing taco. You know what I mean? It just works. It just works. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like maybe not now, but maybe in the next 10 years, I feel like when it comes to craft breweries, you're going to see a lot more opening up in food halls because there is less overhead. There's a lot more foot traffic, but the industrial stuff can be tough sometimes for people. Oh, where is this place?
Sure.
And trying to go find it where
that is true.
And that makes it a little easier if you're in a big space like that.
That's the new model, I think.
Yeah.
I started seeing it really more I saw the first real big one that hit was the LBX. Who's in LBX? It's
in Long Beach.
Yeah, but there's which brewery? Bottlecraft.
Bottlecraft.
I thought that was the first one that I started seeing okay, these guys are doing really good in there because there's always a line
and then
at that place.
And then Steelcraft with Smog City.
Smog City. But, it wasn't it hit, but it didn't hit as hard as the Long Beach place. I think that place just did because it was designed beautifully.
Yeah.
And then you started seeing
Haven City.
Haven City has one in there.
Yeah, they got Ogo. Is it Ogo?
Yeah, Ogo Pogo, and they have Burning Bridge.
Yeah.
Both of those are breweries that, you had just mentioned that have shifted to the food hall concept.
Yeah.
Smaller space.
I never thought I'd see 2 breweries in a food hall. That was a little surprising, to be honest with you. But hey, if it works, kudos, right?
Sure.
But I thought 1 brewery would be enough. But apparently there's a big enough market so that 2 breweries can be in one space, which is a little crazy. But it's kudos to making it work.
Yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone. I love both their beers. I can go.
No, really. Yeah, they're both great beers. Yeah, we've had both of them here several times.
Yep.
I still one of my favorite Hazy's, the Charlie, right?
Oh, from Ogopogo, yeah.
Charlie's Hazy is so good. We used to crush that. I mean, when we first started here, Jesus, we drank so much of that beer.
There it is.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the next segment, can we grab another beer?
Sure.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
I'll hit pause.
Same thing, or you want to change it up?
All right, we're back. I'm having the West Coast from Green Cheek.
Cheers.
What are you guys having?
Ooh, I'm actually partaking in the Pilsner where you said it.
Yep, the Highland Park and Freedom Collab Finchip Pilsner.
So good.
So good. Crushable. Drink this one all day, every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, in the Highland Park, they just put out like banger after banger.
It's like one of those albums you buy that just, not that you don't have to skip anything, right? Everything's good.
And that's rare nowadays.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, there's a couple breweries that do work like that. Like, like Green Cheek is another one.
Yeah.
100%.
We're so spoiled, man. I mean, I get tears in my eyes and I'm like, man, we can get Highland Park here. We can get everywhere here.
Yeah.
We can get Green Cheek here. We can get North Park here. Like, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know. I get teary-eyed, to be honest with you, when we bring in great stuff.
Yeah.
That's great.
You've done a great job. Winston's been a great facilitator of trust. Honestly, I think it's more trust. Like, I think the breweries just want to make sure that they can trust that where their beer is going is not only going to be served well, but that it's going to be treated in the same way that they would. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's what they can get here is breweries know that we're going to treat it like if we're the brewers ourselves. So.
Oh, yeah.
And we try to share as much information as we can about the beer. I mean, I'm not saying like we go into it as like as great as brewers, but we'll talk about, hey, this is from Green Cheek. Hey, they're located in Orange. Hey, or this was a medal winner. We try to share as much information about that beer as possible. Or, hey, if I was you, I would try this beer because it's a very limited new release collab. And outside of the brewery, there's probably not a lot of places that are going to have it on tap. So I would do that one,
Oh, yeah.
So it's exciting when we're able to talk about those stories and messages with our consumer.
I love that. And then it might motivate them to go check out the brewery too, if they've never been.
Exactly. That's what we try to get. I mean, that's really the point, right? I think our job is to kind of educate as much as we can so that people can go, if you would like this experience, you're going to love going over there because they're going to be great. Yeah.
100%. And like, even with we talked about like, obviously whether it's Green Cheek or everywhere, like just being able to get breweries from all like, from every freaking city out there. I mean, or anyone that's close by, or how does that, like, how do you curate the tap list?
Well, the tap list, I mean, we do a lot of research. What's coming out? What styles do we need? Who's got collabs that's coming out? What's going to be hot? I don't know if there's really like a set method to I don't want to call it like the mythology, but I don't know if there's like any true answer other than that timing is everything. I mean, the thing that's very challenging is we have 12 taps, technically 11, because one of the beers one of the drinks that we leave on all the time is a cider, which hopefully we can talk about a little bit. But sometimes it's timing. But we try to ensure that we have a good mix of styles from your average beer drinker that just wants to drink a Mexican lager or a blonde. Yeah. But also for the hardcore craft beer drinker, the untapped follower, for example, the person that will travel for beer, we also want to have the best stuff on. So when we can get it, it's a mix of timing, what's available, what's hard to get, what's limited release, what's the newest thing, that type of thing.
And price point too, also. I mean, like sometimes something will be so limited that the breweries will put some like a crazy price on it. And we're like, how do we can't even sell this?
We try to have a good mix.
Yeah.
But I would say as far as the curation, Mike, like you're asking, we always want to have a Mexican lager.
Yeah.
We also want to have something light, like a blonde Kolsch for your regular beer drinker. And then we'll have some good hardcore craft beer stuff for your avid craft beer drinker. I mean, we've had a few weeks ago, we had a quadruple hazy IPA on.
Dang.
But I saw that from Cellar Maker, which is from, up there in San Francisco, Berkeley area. And how we connected with them is they connected with us. They sent us an email saying, hey,
that's awesome.
We're interested in Alchemy Craft. Hey, we think our beer would be great at your spot. We love your spot. Are you guys interested? And that's kind of like how that connection started. But like I was saying earlier, our connection with a lot of breweries out there is really just spending time in their brewery, getting to know them as people, and and working well with each other and bringing in their great tasting stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a byproduct too of trial and error, right? Like we kind of know the market really well now. I mean, it took our first year. You should have seen like we would have stuff that would just sit.
Yeah.
And we started noticing like, okay, this market isn't necessarily. They're not all craft beer drinkers, but they're curious about, right?
Yeah.
Right, like obviously the question we always get, like, is that like a Modelo or is that like a Corona, right? Like that.
Yeah, right.
It's like the entry level question, and so we have something to point them to.
Yeah.
We'll always, no matter what, have a Mexican lager on tap, no matter what, because that is for that person.
Yeah.
Right. But then, hey, you want to try something different? Here's it's a Japanese lager.
Yeah.
That's a little crafty, you'll notice a little bit of a difference in the way it tastes. You might like it. We'll give them a sample, right? Or if you like that, maybe try this West Coast Pilsner. Yeah. It's a little more hoppy. You might, so
it's a gateway beer.
It's a gateway beer. Yeah, you're right. So, you just kind of like scaffold them a little bit,
Yeah.
Step here, step here, step here. And then before you know it, they're jumping off the ledge at a quadruple.
Yeah.
quadruple hazy from Cellar Maker and Burial Brewing out in Carolina. Like, okay, let's go,
Yeah. And before you know it, they're on Untapped.
Exactly. Yeah, right. No, that's the ultimate level.
I've talked to so many people about that. I'm like, you ever heard of Untapped? They're like, what's that? I'm like, it's basically the Yelp of craft beer drinkers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, didn't know about that.
But you got to lead customers, you gotta lead them, especially if it's something they've never tried or never been, or they've heard about it, but they don't really know much about it. So our staff does a really good job of like hand holding and educating customers. In fact, that's one of the top things that we hear from our reviews is like, oh man, they're so knowledgeable. They gave me good recommendations. We try to get people to pair our beer with like what are they eating? Like, oh, you're eating, like pork belly. You might want to try this. This is really good with that, And so it's been really good. And like, Winston said, like seasonally too, like we'll always bring in a stout during the holidays.
Of course.
One of our favorite stouts doesn't exist anymore. The horchata stout that we used to love from Pacific Plate.
Dang.
We used to love that drink. And customers would always ask for it. Like, you guys going to get it this year? You're going to get it this year? And so, unfortunately they're not around anymore, but we still always want to have a stout during the holiday season.
100%. And like I love what you mentioned about the beer education part, because that is so important, because if you can guide someone along their like journey, like to getting into craft beer, finding their gateway, because usually it's like Mexican lagers or blondes, right? Or like pilsners or lagers.
Sure.
Once you kind of find that, you build that trust.
Sure.
Right.
And then they'll remember that, and they'll tell their friends about that, and they'll be like, hey, we got to go check out this place. I'm not even the biggest beer person, but I still want, like, they guided me down the right path.
Right. Well, I mean, we hope that, beer is one, and I get it. Beer is one small piece of the pie. And here at Boulevard Market, it's about the experience. It's about the feeling, right? That's how it has to be in any business, right? You're going to have a product, everyone's going to have a product, but it's about the experience and the vibe that's curated here. And, if you have top-notch beer with great tasting food and, a location that's activated all the time with live music and DJs and different events throughout the year and throughout the month, that's going to cause people to want to keep coming back. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus, I don't know, you could go to maybe 5 or 6 places that carry maybe the same type of beer and there's no vibe and no experience. So here we take pride of that as the experience aspect of that.
That's great.
Piece of it.
Everything has to be an experience, right? Like even we want to transport people somewhere, and they can just take a break and a moment from the noise of just life. And just when they come in here, they're like, oh, you know what? This is a different feeling, different vibe, different experience. We've even installed our newest addition is the basket that, I experienced. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
No, I haven't seen it.
I was traveling to Belgium this year, and, I was in this city called Ghent, which is kind of in between Brussels and Bruges. And it was at a bar, and it was the funniest thing. They had this old bar that's been there. It feels like hundreds of years. It's one of those bars, that everything was like brown and wood and just had tchotchkes from all over the eras, different times. And they were selling, yards, like these, like, I forgot the official name of it, but they're like the Yard House beers, So they tell you the story of how they came about and where they originated from, the whole story. I think they're called Horsemen something, but they were 40-ounce yards, 40 ounces of beer. And the price of it was like nothing. It was crazy. It's like water for them. But in order to get the glass, you have to give them a shoe. So like they take your shoe, the waiter gets your shoe, right? Puts it in this basket and then rings the bell. Basket goes up in the air, and then they bring you your beer. And then once you finish the beer, you give them the beer back. They give you your shoe back. It's a whole thing. It's an experience.
That's awesome.
Right? I was like dumbfounded, and everybody in the whole place was just like with their cameras out watching this basket go up with their shoe. And I thought, wow, that is so dumb yet so awesome at the same time. You know, like it's amazing. And so I thought, let's do that here.
Yeah.
So we did just that. We put up a basket. You see it right in front of.
I see it
it's
now,
right there with a bell.
Mhm.
We got boots. We got German style boots with 32-ounce pours. So you basically it's 2 beers. You know,
Okay.
give us a boot, we'll give you a boot.
Yeah.
And people have been having fun. We haven't been marketing and promoting it because we just kind of want people to discover it organically. But we're probably gonna start pushing it this summer.
Okay.
But again, experience, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not just grab a beer.
Yeah.
It's like this whole like you can get that experience in Europe where you can't get it anywhere else in LA.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that is important for us.
Yeah. You got to come over to Boulevard if you want to have a beer booth.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
We do give you a booty sock, though. We'll give you a
Okay.
booty sock.
Yeah.
You
Because
can
people
cover
were
your
like,
sock.
what if I have to go to the bathroom? We're like, all right,
Yeah.
here's a
Yeah,
booty. Here's a booty.
Yeah.
Here's a booty sock. So,
Love that, man. Next segment I wanted to bring up was it's called the 4-pack.
sure.
So we can go back and forth for questions, but
Yeah.
whoever wants to start. So the first can of the 4-pack is what's one beer that never leaves your fridge?
Ooh. So we're talking personal.
Brand
Yeah.
or style?
Oh, just either one. I mean, you can pick like be specific if you want to, or you could just say like a West Coast.
Man, it's so anything for me, clear beer. Anything that's clear beer and hoppy. So give me a
Okay.
good Pilsner, give me a good lager, give me a good West Coast. That's all me, baby.
Okay.
You
Love
know,
it. Same.
that's all me. And we're so spoiled out here. I can everywhere all day.
Yeah.
You know, Green Cheek, Highland Park,
Yeah.
Ism. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Isn't
you know?
it great that Pilsners and lagers are back?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, that's
Yeah.
crazy that
Yeah.
they weren't as big as they are now. It's
Yeah.
like,
And I even love saisons.
Yeah.
I mean, saisons. I go into a place and they have a saison. I'm like, sweet. You don't
Yeah.
really see that much.
Oh, 100%.
You know, so that's what gets me excited. So a good mix. Now during the COVID days when we're sitting at home,
Yeah.
there was a lot of hazies going on. I think I got
Yeah.
I got burnt out on hazies, but I'm a clear beer West Coast guy.
There you
who
go.
used to make that really good farmhouse saison? Was that Celador?
Celador, yeah, they
They had
make
that
really
really
good
good,
stuff,
yeah.
naturally conditioned stuff.
Really,
Yeah.
and they spent a lot of time. It's like artistry.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
their
they
stuff
make good
is
stuff.
top notch.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm like Winston. I like crushable stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I gravitate towards pilsners and Mexican lagers. That's kind of like my go-to. I think right now, what is the last beer that Ray made? It was the
Agua de Oro Mexican
Agua de
lager?
Oro. He just did a batch of Agua de
Okay.
Oro. Dude, I have a 6-pack in my house. I just
there it is.
I love it. It's such a good crushable beer. I think my favorite Mexican lager is probably the Maíz
El
Chingon.
Maíz Chingon from
El
Barrel-
Maíz Chingon from Barrel and
Stave.
Stave. That's a really, because they have that maíz flakes in it. It just has this little extra flavor that I really like. But pilsners are just like, I love a good pilsner, man. Japanese rice lagers are really good too, man.
Better.
I can't get enough of that. I just had one, I think, recently. But you know, it's who has? I think I went to Homage, and Homage had a really good lager.
Oh, yeah, they have a lot of good beer.
Oh,
yeah,
We've had
Homage.
some of their stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had a
Homage.
really
Crush
good
it.
lager. I was there to watch a Dodger game, and I tried one of their $5 lagers, and it was like so crushable, so light, refreshing.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Germany when I went to Köln, you know, the home of the Kolsch.
Well, yeah.
A good Kolsch too, man. It's just they're so crushable.
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's so good.
It's
you know?
nice when you see them on tap menus now, and you're seeing them a little bit more, not as often, but you're starting to see more of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love places are even embracing the history, right? Like everywhere it does Kolsch service now too,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like I haven't gone there yet, but I want to do that. Like it's such a fun experience.
yeah,
Awesome.
just yeah. So anything light, hoppy, and clear for me.
There it is. Second beer of the 4-pack. If you weren't in beer or in this industry, like, or this part of it, like, what do you think you guys would be doing?
You want to go?
Well, I mean, I worked in the corporate world quite a bit
Yeah.
in the past, so it definitely wouldn't be anything.
Winston was a suit.
It wouldn't be anything in the corporate world again. A lot of politics there, a lot of
I couldn't picture that.
good bosses, a lot of bad bosses, a lot of Anyways, I guess a dream job with me would be, gosh, I had a nickname in high school. I played some high school sports. I wasn't very good, but I knew stats, and everybody called me Chick Hearn, believe it or not.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so one thing that I'm like, gosh, I should have went after because I just love sports is being a sports reporter,
Okay.
working on ESPN or Fox Sports
Love
or
that.
something like that. You know, that would be like a dream job. You know, anything that's sports related.
You need a catchphrase though.
There you go.
I don't know, like a little cervecero. I mean,
What about
that's
for the win?
perfect, right?
You can say for the win.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I love what I do, man. I don't.
Yeah.
obviously I'm a business person, right? So like we build companies. I in another life I would have probably been like, I would have tried to train to be some sort of creative. I'm a creative person and I have a lot of ideas and I love bringing them to fruition. And so I get that in my job now, where I get to come up with ideas and concepts and execute on them, no matter how crazy they are. And so the business side of me is great. I love that part of it, but the creative side of it gets it. So I think in another life, I'd probably be some kind of creative in some way. I don't know, somehow. I don't know what, but yeah.
Hey, the world needs more of them, man.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Excellent. So if you could like do like a collaboration, like say if they said, if we want Alchemy to come down and we'll do a brew day.
Man.
Like what brewery what would it be?
Well, brewery too?
We'd have to do multiple breweries. We'd have to do like a Alchemy Unity
that would
beer.
Be fuck. Okay,
you know what I mean?
That's an even better idea.
You know, let's be real here. We're like
a
I said,
beer, yeah.
Oh man, we've talked about wanting to do stuff, but man, there's so many great breweries. Of course, my homies from everywhere would be like Highland Park, North Park, Ism, Green Cheek. I mean, those are just a few. I mean, there's so many, many, many more. I mean, we've talked about it. We've had discussions about doing like a special Alchemy beer style of beer. It's something that is.
We tried at one point, but I think
Yeah.
We always fell on the logistic side of it. Like it was like logistically difficult because storage and all that stuff, right?
Of course, yeah.
But to Winston's point, I would love to do a Mexican lager or like a Pilsner.
With
a West Coast Pilsner would be sick.
Yeah. Let's go, Jeremy. Let's go.
I know.
Jeremy. Let's go. Jeremy. Everywhere.
Everywhere. I would love to. Yeah. And we sell so much Mexican lager here. It's crazy. We sell so much of it.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I guess I gave you the political answer. There's just so many great breweries. I mean, anybody really. I mean, we would love to do. We would
hit
love
us
to
up.
Do something.
Hit us up for a collab.
Yeah, we've had conversations. We've had, us as a team have had conversations.
Yeah.
And we've
met with brewers.
Yeah, and I've thrown some things out there here and there, but nothing has really came down. But hey, maybe we'll have to look at doing something for our 4-year anniversary. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it might not hurt now. I think it just depends on the brewer and.
Like you said, the logistics.
Yeah. That's the part that we never could dial in. But if we can figure it out now, I mean, it'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I'd be excited. First, when it will, I won't say if it happens. I'll say when it happens. When it does, I'll be here the first one. I'll be banging on the door.
Appreciate it.
We're putting the energy out in the world.
Oh yeah.
Let the beer gods make it happen.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, one of our many future plans. One of our future goals.
It's great.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we got to be goal oriented. We got to always reaching for, like Woody says in Toy Story, reach for the sky.
The sky is the limit.
There it is.
No is the restriction. Just kidding.
Yep. Last beer of the 4-pack. What's your guys' guilty pleasure? Maybe guilty pleasure or secret guilty kind of pleasure?
Beer,
or not so
beer wise or?
Oh, no, anything in life.
Oh, in life. I don't know. You go for it.
Guilty pleasure. Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a foodie. I love food. I love going to eat great food at great places.
That's great.
So, I mean, hitting Blvd locations, traveling for food. Like, yeah, that would be it. I'm a big foodie guy.
Okay. Well, what about something that you love, but like maybe people don't know that you love?
But I don't do it as much as I used to, but I wouldn't say I'm like a professional gamer, but I love getting on my PS5 and, talking smack to my nephew on MLB The Show or Madden when I'm kicking his butt.
Nice.
I guess behind the scenes, haven't really got into like, the Call of Duty stuff, but I like to game, but all the games that I get are all sports related.
Okay.
My wife will be like, why do you have 20 versions of the Madden? So I started buying them digitally, but stuff like that. I guess I'm a behind the scenes gamer when I can game.
Yeah.
But I don't as game as much. But that would be like something that people might not know about me.
Okay.
Yeah, I like gaming as well. I used to play a lot in grad school. I used to play UFC a lot, like every night. That was like
Weren't you in a league, bro, or something?
I was in my own. We made a league, kind of we were like that, bro. It's like we practiced, like we had practice people, like people. They were all ranked, like real ranked people. We would all practice like on how to play. But I think for me, I don't know. I think guilty pleasure. Like it's some people that don't know, but I'm a big I love carrot cake.
Okay.
I'm a big carrot cake guy. Here at the bar, dude, my obsession, my guilty pleasure here is that Mexican lollipop, like the frozen Mexican lollipop.
Oh, the slushy, yeah.
Man, it's so good, dude. I just I had one the other day and I was like, damn, I was only supposed to have half. And then I drank 2 of them. I was like, dude, they're so good with like a watermelon rim on it.
There it is. Yeah. Tell everyone about it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. That one we keep on the menu all the time.
Yeah.
We do rotate weekly on all of our beers, but that particular cider has just always been a hit since we put. I still remember the day when it was all wood frame in here, and the sales reps came out for samples, and the Mexican
we knew right away.
Popped it and we poured it and we were like,
that's gonna hit.
I think we looked at each other and it was just like this.
Like, and as soon as the customers
like this is so perfect for us. And then when we got it on tap, it's like just the perfect cider. Like people just love it.
We sell so much of it, it's crazy. I think as an item, it's one of our top sellers, like as an item.
Yeah, and then we do a slushy version of it, Friday through Sunday. So people love that as well. Nice little watermelon chamoy with watermelon sugar on it. They love it. And I know Honest Abe loves it. They're Southern California's first, cidery and meadery out here. They're the ones that make it.
Yeah.
And it's been a hit here. We've kept that one on the menu all the time.
It's always been great here. I feel like it's, hopefully, I think we'll always have it here. I think customers would not like it if we didn't carry it one day, but it's always been good.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And we were talking about like that one and like in other beers, like we talked about a little bit about food pairings, but like what are maybe some of your favorite ones that you've had here with like a beer, like with a beer or cider?
Sure.
Yeah, back in the day, my favorite pairing honestly was a stout with the pork belly tacos.
Ooh, okay.
So there's something about the richness of a stout, that kind of like coffee, with pork belly that Los Taqueros makes. That to me is such a great combination. They probably would go well with any kind of like rich protein, but that combo, to this day, I'll do that. Like if I'm here, during the winter time, it just got to be the right time and season.
Sure.
It just hits different in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I would be like anything light with some great tacos from Los Taqueros Mucho.
Okay.
Or obviously pizza. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pizza
a
and
lager
beer,
and a pizza.
It's like their brother and sister. Let's go. You can't have a great beer without pizza and vice versa.
Yeah.
And there's just so many options. And then the other one that I really like to drink is something very light. Would be with Vichos with their chicharron and yuca plate.
Okay.
When people are like, chicharron and yuca, they have that? Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Get it. It's bomb. It just brings back like childhood memories for me, like that Sunday pork roast dinner with that crackling skin on there. And that's how their chicharron and yuca plate is. That chicharron, it's crispy on the outside, nice and moist with a nice light Mexican lager or blondale.
A lot of people know Vichos because of their pupusas, but their chicharron plate is so good, and their steak fries are so good too, man. Their steak fries are so fire.
Yeah, they are fire. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different avenues of mixing stuff up. It's just those are the favorites right there.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and what's cool too, like even, people, when you guys do the behind the brews or have the panel, because I think one of the other panels I came to was the women in beer, the pink.
Sure.
Oh,
we did the women in beer.
Every year we've been doing
her story. Where we highlight female brewers and their stories, and we'll bring in brewers that work at different breweries throughout LA and Southern California, and we'll bring them in collaboration with Pink Boots, and bring their Pink Boots collab beers on tap, and have them come in and talk about their story, because in the craft beer world, a majority of people that work in the industry are male.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's great to highlight, female brewers that are making an impact and making great beer out there.
I think that inspired our Behind the Brews, really. Our Behind the Brews was like, we need to make these like more like this.
Exactly.
And it just kind of like piggybacked off of that, and I think it did well.
Yeah. So it's just great. Again, sharing the story, the journey of that individual person and that beer, the people behind it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and like you said, like, getting more females involved. I mean, it's always, if we can motivate one person to get out there and just to try, for that matter.
Oh,
because
man.
I know sometimes I'm sure like it's so intimidating. Yeah. And at least initially, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine, being female and, being not Caucasian. I mean, the majority of people in the craft beer world are Caucasian white guys like me, and so it's good to have diversity in the industry, but it's great for the other people that come out, the young girls, the young customers that are interested in brewing and being in the industry, hearing their story, and hopefully it allows them to like want to be involved in the craft beer industry if that's what they're really passionate about.
Oh, 100%.
So, yeah, so we do that every year. That's been great. Behind the Brews events every month. I mean, there's so many activations here. It's crazy. I mean, this week, for example, on Saturday, we're having our 3rd annual Eastside Pride event. Fourth. Sorry, excuse me. Dang, that's right. I can't do my math right now. 4th. Go ahead, Barney, on that one.
No, yeah. I mean, it's, we have our tentpole events that we have all throughout the year, and Eastside Pride is one of them. Again, all these stem from like the community just reaching out to us and be like, hey, can we do this? And one person did that 4 years ago saying, hey, we want to have representation in the community. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So it's been a great, it's one of my favorite ones all year round because it's fun. It's just fun.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I'm always curious too, because obviously like everybody has their own challenges, whether you open up a brewery or you're opening up just your own space. What like kind of hurdles or challenges did you kind of face along the way?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, aside from business challenges that just happen, like I think at the end of the day, really the biggest thing is just making sure that because if you open up a space and you tap into the right market, the right audience, they come to you, right? Oh, yeah. Like you just have to let them know you're there. But here it's always been just about like making sure that we have the right curation of beer, we have the right curation of wines, that we have the right curation of like mixed drinks, that the product is good, and then it all makes sense, and then our staff it buys into the culture. We invest so much in our culture. Like,
it's great.
That was the one thing my wife and I, when we first opened this thing up, we were just like, we want to have a place that we want to work at, that people want to come to, that would hang out there when they're not working. And that's what we did. Like our staff comes and hangs out here when they're not working.
Yeah. Or like that you would want to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. And so, and on top of that, we want to take care of people. We just took our team to the Dodger game recently. And so it's just, we hang out at least 2-3 times a year. We just do fun stuff. And, we do a movie night in October where we do scary movies and stuff. So it's like our team they're taking care. We try to take care of everybody and just give a place where people feel like not only are they cared about, but we're giving them opportunity to grow as individuals and as professionals too. And so that was really important for us. But I think that's always the challenge, is just making sure that you never lose sight of why you're doing the thing you're doing, and to never take your foot off the pedal on investing in the space, the product, and your team, most importantly.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And have you ever thought about, I mean, I don't know if this is like maybe opening up a second kind of location?
Yeah. We're in the process, actually. We're we might have
first.
Yeah, we might have 2 more projects on the horizon the next couple of years. Yeah. So these things take a while to build out.
Of course, yeah.
But we've got 2 that we're going to be signing contracts for this year, and at least 1 for sure. And then it'll take a couple of years, but once the thing's open, we've got 2 projects for sure. So it's gonna be good, man. I'm looking forward to it. I think our community wants us to grow too, and so it'll be fun.
Yeah. You're gonna have to double up on those keg orders.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
that's not a problem. Hey, the more the merrier. Yeah. And then we've also been focused on our catering.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we do exclusive
concessions. Like we do concessions for theaters.
Yes, we do the Nimoy Theater, Westwood Village.
We have a contract with UCLA, and so
Royce Hall
too on campus, and I still don't think they know I went to USC. I don't know.
I know when Barney sent me the text, I was like, yes.
He's a big UCLA guy.
Yeah. So we always talk a lot of smack with each other. But he actually went to USC. I didn't go to UCLA.
That's right.
But I think that opportunity has been really fun. I mean, we love catering to new markets, and we've been doing more catering. In July, we have summer festivals that we do with the City of Bell, where we do beer gardens for them for their parties. And we just did a 5K for the City of Bell also. So, it's been fun getting the staff loves to do that stuff. They love to go out and like sell beer in different locations. It just changes it up for them,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome. If somebody would say like that came to you, they're like, hey, when I love your establishment, I want to open up my own place. Like, what kind of advice would you guys give?
Make sure you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Capital.
Yeah, capital is the thing, dude. The thing that closes so many businesses is the lack of capital.
And
it takes
marketing.
Yeah, it takes marketing. Yeah, never take your foot off the pedal in marketing. That I feel like that's the lifeblood. But a lot of people will have enough. Maybe they'll save up enough money to open, but they don't have enough runway to grow it.
Yeah.
And that's important, you know. I didn't take a salary the first year. I didn't make $1. Even though this thing was doing well, I didn't see any money that first whole year. All the money went back into the business. It went back into paying off debt. And, you know, and I took a salary, I think it was 18 months after I started paying myself. And that's hard too, man, you know, because you're seeing the money come in. You're like, man, can I just cut myself a check? Can I get just a you know, bit? You just discipline. And that's the hard part. The hard part is we spent probably 7 years saving, doing side missions and side hustles to kind of raise money. And then we pulled our money together and then said, okay, now we have enough to kind of invest in this thing. And then you spend a whole nother 18 months after that, just waiting to pay yourself. And then it starts to work out and it starts to pencil out. But if you don't have the wherewithal to handle all that, it's hard.
Yeah.
So mentally, it's difficult. You know, a lot of sleepless nights, lots of, you know, crying and blood, sweat, and tears and all that. But, you know, it's feasible. You just have to have capital. Capital helps a lot. It helps a lot. And then like Winston, you know, eloquently put, marketing is so important too, man. You just gotta have an authentic sort of conversation with what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Know who you're marketing to is more importantly, because if you don't have the right customer you're marketing and your messaging doesn't hit, you look weird. It's crazy. It doesn't hit. That's why a lot of breweries close.
It's not authentic. It's not genuine.
A lot of breweries are closing because of the fact that there's so many breweries, and there's the great breweries, and then there's the majority of the breweries, and then there's the bottom part of the breweries, which is they have a okay product maybe. They're in bad locations most of the time.
Yeah.
And then they just don't know how to communicate and market to companies. And so, to consumers. And so you notice Highland Park and these, someone think that's a bad location because it's out in the outskirts of LA, but you know, people will, and there's no parking, right? People go out there. What's the other place that has no parking?
Benny Boy.
Oh yeah.
Horrific parking.
Yeah.
It's the worst, but it's always packed.
It's LA parking, so
it's always packed.
It's LA parking,
right? So they know how to market. They have these great, I think they do a chicken shit bingo.
Yeah.
They have great events, dude.
Yeah,
you know?
they're
great
they're
space.
The best at marketing.
Yeah, everywhere. Great brand.
Yeah,
you know, got good parking. So it's a combination of all that, man. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think as far as challenges, I think I would just say, you know, I've learned a lot with working with Barney and his wife. He's educated me a lot. You know, I was never a business owner, was never really an entrepreneur. Yes, my goal and dream one day would be to have my own tap room and stuff. And it's been awesome to get this experience, but I've learned so much from them because I see it and I hear it. And it's the most important thing is I see it. And it's, again, he's spot on. If you're not marketing properly, but more importantly, if you're not genuine and you're not connecting with your community and your customers, I mean, we really, again, we take pride in making sure we have those conversations. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? How's it feeling? There's so many regulars, so many people that come in here that we talk to all the time. It's crazy. It's almost like if you're almost talking to,
it's like cheers,
talking with family. So I would say, you know, a challenge for anybody that's wanting to get into the craft beer world or open up a business in the craft beer world is number one is never forget about your community and never forget about your customer base on what they want and what they need and what they would like. And then more importantly, number two is making sure you have the best team possible.
Yeah.
And, you know, and what I mean by the best team, it's not always the best team that has all the experience, but it's the best team that vibe together.
Yeah.
Respect each other.
Coachable, man.
They're coachable.
Hunger,
They feel comfortable in sharing their ideas and their opinions to us so we can make changes and modifications. And I guess the more important thing is just always spending that time to listen to your team and connect with your team and hire the best of the best. Not just so much on experience, but again, there's a lot of attributes. So I think more importantly is having the best team, a team that you can trust, a team that's going to help share that vision. And number two is connecting with the community and your customer base.
Yeah, community is so important, man. So many places say that they're about community and then they just kind of fall flat when push comes to shove and the community needs them.
So, I mean, are you really there? You know, so.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, communities, families.
Yeah.
I mean, and what's better than family?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, except maybe beer.
Or beer with your family.
Beer with your family, too. But I mean, you know what's great, though? You get to make connections, especially I feel like in craft beer, I would say 90 to 95% of the communities fantastic.
Sure.
But obviously, every family has a bad apple, and we're not talking about the bad apples, just that it's great that you can talk to people and you can have a conversation. Like we've hung out here and I've met you, hung out with you a couple times during the Behind the Brews and for the Pink Boots,
Right.
But I've never met you. But we got to sit across from each other right now and have a conversation for, a little over an hour now.
Right.
And it's fun. And
Yeah.
It doesn't have to feel like it's forced. We just get to, I love talking with someone over beer, man.
Sure.
It's like, what's better than that?
That's really true.
You can't beat it.
Yeah. That's what I would
Can't
say.
beat
It's like cheers for me.
We need to do a series like this.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, just highlighting conversation with people over a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it'll be good.
that was like one of my favorite shows growing up, and I love Norm. I mean, like R.I.P. and all that stuff. But it was like, just like hearing like the Buds talk, or like, for, was it 20 minutes because it was a sitcom? It was like the best for me
Yeah.
because they were always at the bar.
Yep.
And I was
Yep.
just a kid, but still was like, man, that'd be really fun one day
Yeah.
to be able to just hang out with my buddies and, because as we get older, we lose that touch, right?
Sure.
But still, when we do hang out, like I was talking to my brother because he had never been to LA Beer Fest.
Oh, okay.
So he went this past Saturday. And he was just like, I told him before, I was like, dude, it's going to be like a big family kind of beer reunion or
Yeah.
beer family reunion.
You lose track of time.
Yeah. But that's what it is, though. But that's what this community is all about.
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys have built one of the best places out there, like,
Thank you.
about that. So,
Yeah. I appreciate that. A lot of that is just the work we do here. Winston's done an amazing job of building those relationships. And, I feel like we're blessed, dude. Like, honestly, like this has been a really great endeavor, and we've gotten to meet so many cool ass people, and we've learned so much
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
from this experience.
Oh, yeah. I remember, starting off and tapping that first beer and
Bro, we had
What?
paper menus, remember?
Yeah.
oh, there it is.
we were changing them like
Paper menus.
4 or 5 times a week. And we were
Yeah.
just like, we can't sustain this.
It's crazy. I mean, it was.
You need to laminate these fuckers.
Yeah. No, but we would just
Screw it,
change
we just need to get a
Oh,
whiteboard.
oh, that's
we would
right.
change the
Yeah.
taps all the time. So
Yeah,
like
that's true.
we were like, how are we gonna? Every day we were printing out a new menu, like because something
Yeah.
would go on. So it was like weird, but you learn so much by just doing. And that's not really, that's really entrepreneurship, man. You just
Mhm.
jump and you build your parachute on as you fall, and that's what
Right.
we did. Thankfully, we built a good parachute, and we're
Yeah.
flying now.
Yeah, I mean it's been great. I mean I have no complaints about it.
Yeah.
It's been little things like either systems or things bar related or business related.
Yeah.
But it's been great working through a bunch of stuff. I mean we always have good open discussions and conversations. We meet weekly for planning. That's one big learning that I've had because again I don't come from a business aspect or background or anything like that. But it's a lot of work, man. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
planning and planning stuff out in advance, months in advance,
Yeah.
and follow up. And then, you might have disagreements at times about a certain, I don't know. You just
Emo
learn,
night.
you learn from each other, right? It's been respectful. It's been more like, Barney will coach me like, hey, Winston, why are we bringing in this beer that costs this amount?
Yeah.
We can get this beer at this amount.
Yeah.
And we've had like unique and very interesting conversations, but it's been a lot of mutual respect. But
Yeah.
I think more importantly, it's been learning for both of us, definitely for me,
Yeah.
to ensure that, we do what we can to, again, provide the best experience for the customer and
Yeah.
for our team.
I mean, our
And,
team. I mean,
yeah.
it's like a culture thing, man. Like, I think it's okay. I think Winston said it right now. Like, it's important for us to create a culture where people are okay with making a mistake.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not easy to do.
or yeah. I mean, and just because most mistakes are small, man. They're not,
Yeah.
it's not going to break us unless it's a breakable mistake, and then it's like that's not good, right? But 99% of the mistakes are just small,
Yeah.
and they can be fixed. It's not a big deal, There's no need to like get crazy or upset. Some places don't create that culture, and I think we have, and I think it's good. We've learned a lot, and we're growing a lot from this experience, and
Yeah.
we're only going to keep getting better and better as we keep going along.
Sure. But it's been a great learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning all the time.
100%. I feel like you guys, just what you guys are talking about, you guys have those conversations because you care so much.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's about the caring part. It's not like, you did this or you did that. No, it's like not about that. It's about you care so much about the product and, as a whole, that's why you guys are having those conversations.
Yeah, the intention is
Yeah.
the right intention.
Of course.
Sometimes might not say might not deliver the message properly sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Or some way, or perceive it a certain way, but at least there's those conversations to clarify and to knock all that stuff out, so that stuff doesn't, that stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't know.
No, for sure. And I don't know if you guys are wrestling guys, but like I always used to quote Scott Hall. Like he had a Hall of Fame speech and he said, "Hard work pays off, dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do."
Yeah, that's funny.
Things come and go, man. Things come and go, right?
And a lot of times we worry about stuff that like it ends up being fine.
Yeah,
most of the time, it ends up being
it's okay. Over time, you'll be like, laugh at it.
You'll be like, fuck, why was I so stressed about that?
Yeah. That's our brain, dude, trying to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
At all times. So it's like, if you understand that, you don't get super worked out. And I think that's as an entrepreneur, I think I've gone through that over 20 years, that I don't allow the bad times to get to me too hard, and the good times also. Like I'll give myself moments to be like happy.
Yeah.
But I don't get overly excited about any big win, because I just know tomorrow I'm going to get slapped in the face with some stupid thing.
Yeah.
And same the opposite way too. Yeah. Like, you can't get too depressed about something, because it's like, dude, tomorrow will be a great day.
Yeah. Just embrace the moment. Like live, try your best. I know it's hard sometimes because it's life's stressful, but just try to live in that moment and enjoy the moment.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. Last question. I left this one off on purpose.
Okay.
If you had to describe yourself, we can go, whoever wants to go first, to describe yourself in one word.
In one word?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll have to think about that one. Dang.
And Barney's like, yeah.
And one word.
Yeah.
Dang.
Resilient.
Love that.
Ooh.
Love that.
Man, you got me. I'm blank. I'm blanked right now. Any advice, Barney? Anything I'm missing?
That's your word, bro. I'm not that's like my fucking word.
I would say, gosh dang.
King.
There it is.
Definitely not. Definitely not. No. Gosh, I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I nothing's coming to mind right now. I don't know. I'm like not doing good right now.
Here's the word. He's being humble.
There you go.
There you go. I feel like I'm humble.
Yeah. I was going to say, if I had to choose a word for it, I'd probably say caring.
Winston has a huge heart, man.
Yeah. Because you do, even the times that I met you the first time, you didn't know me. I think Bridget introduced us.
Sure.
I walked up, said hey to you. It's like, maybe one day we'll do something. Here we are.
Sure.
But even talking about how much you care about the industry, you can hear it in your voice. You've seen you at Fear Fest.
Yeah.
You care about this
100%.
Industry. And so, I would say if I had to choose a word for it, that's what it would be.
Yeah. No, I definitely care about the industry, and more importantly,
Winston has a love for this world.
Yeah.
No, and it comes through.
Yeah, and it's just, it's been great, man.
Yeah.
I got a lot of love for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Got a lot of love.
And this has been so fun.
Good, man.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
One thing that just in closing, I not to take away, in addition to the great craft beers, we also offer, great wines. Like tomorrow night, for example, we're going to be highlighting some wines from Valle de Guadalupe from Mexico down by the Ensenada area. Our first wine tasting event here tomorrow. Every Wednesday we do a wine down Wednesday with live music every Wednesday.
There it is.
Then also what's really popular here, because again, like Barney talked about earlier, is in addition to having the greatest craft beers on tap and rotation, we also offer our specialty drinks. We have margaritas, we have a Paloma. We're not a full bar, but our Paloma is an agave wine, and our margaritas are, sake infused with Blanco tequila barrels to give it that tequila flavor. But we make fresh Jamaica juice. We make fresh habanero syrup.
Yeah.
we do everything fresh, and it really enhances. People love it. And it's so funny. People are like, they look at our menu, there's sake on their agave wine. I'm like, have you tried it yet? No.
Yeah.
Then we make it for them, and they try it, and they're like, we love it.
Yeah.
So again, we have options for everybody at the bar. In addition to the great craft beers, again, the specialty drinks, the Mexican lollipop cider, great wine selection. So check it out.
It's a real artisan experience here, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not even kidding. We spend our staff spends a lot of time peeling limes and
Great, bro.
boiling down hibiscus flowers. It's a labor of love, dude. But you could taste it in our product.
Yeah.
You could taste it in our product.
Oh, of course. It shows that you care.
Yeah.
Going back to the care part.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you guys have any events coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we have...
Yeah. Well, tomorrow we have Wine Wednesday. Every Wednesday we do Wine Wednesday. So wines are $2 off at 6:00.
We also have the Healing Through the Art community event that we're doing. But, all the craziness that's happening right now with the ice raids. And, like I said, we say we're with the community and we talk about community, but we also walk the walk. And so we wanted to create a space for people to express themselves creatively through the arts to kind of heal during this time.
Yeah.
So that's tomorrow, in addition to the Valle de Guadalupe or Wind Down, and then Saturdays are East Side Pride. Yeah, I think at the end of the month too, we have the foam party for kids.
Yeah, we have the Mommy and Me foam party. Okay. Nice. And then on the 26th, we're actually having our Behind the Brews event, our monthly event, with Common Space Brewery.
Oh, awesome!
So they're going to be out.
Who's it going to be?
So Derek will be out. Common Space will be out. Derek and the team, and hopefully a few of the brewers.
Yeah, I was hoping Andy was because.
So they came hard last time we had him here a couple years ago. It's been overdue, but we're excited to have them come out next week, and then in July we're excited to have Everywhere here for like the 4th time.
Awesome!
It's actually the day before their 3-year anniversary or 4-year anniversry. One of their anniversaries, I forgot which one, but they're going to be here the day before for the Behind the Brews event in July, and that's the day before their actual anniversary that they'll be celebrating at their location. So we're really excited about that as well.
It's awesome.
So yeah,
man. And there's more to come all the year. We have events all the time, right?
Yeah.
So just follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to the events. We update all the time, and we have a lot of events all year round. Yeah. We're gonna probably do a beer festival this year too. So
yeah, we're in the initial planning stages on that. We'd love to have our first Alchemy Craft Beer Festival. Close down the street here on 6th Street, bring in some top-notch breweries. Yeah. So lots of plans.
I'm in.
So cool.
Awesome.
1,000%.
Cool.
Great, man.
Yeah. Well, Mike, man, thank you so much for having us and stuff. This has been flipping off awesome. I can't believe that we went over an hour already.
I know. That's one thing I love about it, man. We can sit here talking, just time flies by. It doesn't feel like it's forced. It just, we're having a good time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
thank you, brother.
Man.
No, thank you guys. Cheers. I mean, I'll get this all taken care of and we'll have another beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Make sure you guys come down off of Whittier Boulevard and 6th Street in Montebello, down the street from Pico. You know what I want to ask you, since you guys grew up here, like Casa Garcia?
Oh yeah, really good.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite places.
Super good. Yeah. It's their green chile, right? Green chile. Yeah. That's so good.
I was talking to Lulu and Zeke about it.
Yeah. I'm sure they eat there a lot too.
Oh yeah. I try to I'm getting older now, so I'm like, maybe I should slow, but full pedal to the metal.
It hits. Yeah. And that meat is so good on nachos, on burrito. You put on anything, it's good, man.
Oh yeah.
You've had it, right? I mean,
for sure.
That's good.
For sure. My first house was in Pico Rivera when I got married.
Oh, there it is.
This guy lived down the street from Tommy's.
King Taco, dude.
Oh, King Taco.
When I was pregnant, it was King Taco.
Dude,
King
I
Taco
still
time.
go for breakfast. I'll get tamales in the mornings. And
Tommy's tamales?
No, those are bomb too.
I've never tried them, dude. People tell me they're good, though.
I just I'll get them without the tomato. I mean, I'll just take the tomato off, but I mean they're bomb.
Yeah, my wife Evelyn likes the chili from Cronies from East LA.
Oh yeah,
there's a Cronies. It's off of Whittier actually.
Yeah,
it's going towards East LA. It actually is East LA.
Yeah, you haven't eaten at Cronies yet, Mike?
No.
Oh, that's an East LA. That's a staple in East LA. Chili cheese dog
with that chew snap.
Ooh, I'm down.
It's good, bro.
Bomb.
Yeah.
You know what I love near that way is Allen B's.
Oh, Allen B's is bomb.
Their shredded beef
Lupe's burritos bomb.
Lupe's is great. Yeah.
Damn, my mouth's watering.
No, man, come on now.
Yeah.
What are you doing to me?
My bad. No, but I haven't been to Allen B's in 5 years, so I need to go. It's been forever. But now thank you guys again. Sorry, I know we went on from.
No, it's all good.
My brain started going. I started thinking about more food, but I appreciate you guys and
thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Obviously,
you're killing it. I mean, this is an amazing space, an amazing place. Like I said, Whittier and 6th in Montebello, Angry Horse across the street too. Come down and support.
Thank you, man.
Sure.
Cheers,
thanks,
guys.
Mike. Appreciate it. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Salute again.
Cheers.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, thank you again, Barney and Winston. If you guys are ever in the area, you gotta go. You gotta check it out. Get some food. Get some good beer. And obviously, they know about the boot now. So you gotta go get a boot, but you gotta give your shoe, man. So be ready for that. Oh, that's awesome. So let's see, what do we got coming up? Next week will be the thank you episode. Then episode 126 will be the the Boomtown episode, and then it will be the Old Stump episode. Sorry, it's like 7:45 in the morning right now. Yeah, super stoked for it. Also, what else we got? So this next couple weeks going to be crazy. Next week's the 4th of July. Then the week after that, I will be in Georgia for work, trying to get a couple recordings while I'm out there. That should be good. Also, Superman comes out that week. Stoked. Let's see. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do this. A friend of mine, someone I know, created or started their own flower business. And you can do this if you guys want to go and follow. That would be awesome. And just to help out, I mean, and if anybody out there listening loves flowers, or wants to buy flowers for someone, or go to anything like that, it's Bloom. It's on Instagram. It's Bloom Creations by Veto. So it's Bloom Creations by, and then VERO. If you go give a follow or anything like that, just to help support anything like that, that'd be great. Also, one more thing here. Wanted to mention that shirt's getting close. The LA Craft shirt's getting close. Super stoked about that. So when it is, I want to try to put together a cool reel or whatever. I'm trying. But yeah, well, I'm not really working. I'm not the artist. My brother's the artist, so he's working on that. Gosh, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, also going to shoot some Taproom Tales. If you haven't seen the latest episode, would be cool if you checked it out. Maybe leave a like, comment, maybe share it, to your story or something on Instagram. All right, I'm going to shut up. I need to make some coffee because it's getting close to that time. I got to head out. I got to stop by Louis Liquor in Azusa, California to go pick up a couple beers, because we're going to, for next week's episode, for 125, we're going to do we're going to take it back, a couple cracker brewskis, give a few reviewskis, and it'll be fun. I haven't done that in a while. I think the last time I did that was with Hannah Banana. That was episode 75, I think. Yeah, I think it was episode 75. So haven't done that in a bit. So looking forward to jumping back in, and that should be a good time. All right. Well, hope everybody has a great day. Should be a beautiful Sunday, a great week. And don't forget to support local, drink local, and find your beer. Cheers.